Hey, what's up YouTube? My name is Batman, and today I'm playing some Halo. I've been kind of getting back into Halo lately because I believe it's coming out I know it's coming out pretty soon here. I'm pretty sure it's coming out on the night of the elections, which is going to be kind of funny. You know, people are going to be getting online all fired up because either their guy won or their guy lost. You know, people take that stuff real personally. And you know, I'm one of them. But what I'm going to show you today is some tank gameplay. This is Big Team Battle, obviously. Big Team Battle is probably one of my favorite playlists in Halo, as I'm sure is the case for a lot of people. Yeah, you go on the servers today after the game's been out for 2 years, and I think Big Team Battle is the most populated playlist, like right behind Team Slayer. For me, it's Multi-Team, Big Team Battle, and Rumble Pit are probably my three favorite in that order. Never been a big fan of Team Slayer. It just gets kind of repetitive for me, but that's, you know, I'm not bashing anyone. It's always kind of dangerous to have an opinion on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I want to show you some tank gameplay because vehicle gameplay in general is always the most important aspect to any Big Team Battle showdown. And particularly on this map, this is Graveyard. This isn't heavies. If it were heavies, I'd get really into the strategy on heavies because it's a whole different ball game. But on just regular Big Team Battle, you know, just regular Slayer on this map, you want to make sure you're getting the tank. Pretty much the entire match will be decided by who gets the tank, who spends the most time in the tank. If you're struggling. If your team is struggling to hold the tank, the most you can do is, you know, take it out. But you definitely don't want to have one team, you know, sort of having a lopsided amount of time in the tank, because that team will win 9 times out of 10. You know, my whole team right now could go negative, and I think I'd still win this match just using the tank, because the tank is, when used properly, a very overpowered device. And I say when used properly because it's very easy to use it improperly, and it's not so OP when somebody, you know, doesn't know how to use it. And the other thing I want to reiterate is, you know, I said I could win this game using just the tank, even if my whole team went negative. But if I'm using the tank the right way, and I basically own the battlefield, my whole team will probably go positive. Even if they are really bad at Halo, they'll still go positive because, you know, think about it. The other team isn't going to be using any vehicles, because anytime they get in a vehicle, I take it out. And they aren't going to have the advantageous positioning because they have to stay on the move, right? And it gets to the point where literally the enemy team's entire goal is to take out my tank. And it has to be that way, because if they did anything other than try to take out my tank, you know, I'd shit on them with the tank. And so it becomes that the entire enemy team, instead of their objective being to kill my team, it becomes their objective is to take out my tank. And while they're doing that, my team takes out them, and it's just this really vicious cycle. And so what I'm saying is, on any map, not just this map, on any map where there's one tank, whoever controls the tank will win the match. That's my argument. And obviously, you know, this is Halo Reach. I know people aren't playing Halo Reach so often anymore. But it's going to be big in Halo 4. There will be tanks in Halo 4. There will be Big Team Battle in Halo 4. And it's all going to come down to vehicle play. And so, you know, when you're using the tank, or any vehicle really, what you want to do is sort of treat it as if you were still just a regular player. Not a regular player, a regular avatar. As if you weren't in the tank. You want to still use cover. A big mistake that I think a lot of people make, and that I've made a lot in the past, and that I still make sometimes, is you get in that vehicle, whether it's a tank or a Warthog, and you get sort of overconfident, right? You feel invincible because you have this giant piece of armor that is your vehicle, and you don't want to make that mistake. You still want to use as much cover as possible when you're using either the Warthog or the tank or any vehicle, and you want to make sure that you're, you know, clipping that cover, right? You'll see when we're driving here in this Warthog, we stay behind cover whenever we're getting shot at. And if you are getting shot at, you know, run away. Don't just take the bullets. Just remember that you're strong. You're not invincible. Now you'll see I've lost the tank at this point. Remember, it's a 3-minute respawn. I think for everything, but I know for sure the tank is a 3-minute respawn, right? So when you die with the tank, just look at the clock and remember that 3 minutes from that exact second, the tank will be back. And so, you know, figure out whatever that time is and make sure you're in a position to be there. Now you'll see what we do in this Warthog. Fortunately, I had my boy Tommy and my boy Waffles, and you know, that's kind of the beauty to playing in a party, is you can strategize. But you'll see what we do here is we try and hold the middle where we know the tank is going to spawn. We try to make sure that the enemy doesn't have too strong of a presence in the middle of the map, so that we don't have to fight when the time comes to get the tank. We don't have to, you know, risk fighting and dying getting there, because our number one priority is to make sure that we have the tank and the enemy doesn't. Actually, the number one priority is to make sure the enemy doesn't have the tank. You know, if that means destroying it, then so be it. Number two priority is to get our team the tank. Now you'll see when we're using the Warthog, whenever one of our shields goes down, we get behind some form of cover. We run away from enemies that are shooting us from you know, a distance or a position where maybe we can't shoot them back. And you'll see my boy Waffles, he is in the passenger seat. People, I think, grossly underestimate there goes Waffles. People grossly underestimate just how powerful the passenger seat can be. It's you know, if you have a DMR and you're in the passenger seat, that extra 1 or 2 bullets that you can put down on an enemy is the difference between, you know, life and death in a lot of situations. You can attack multiple enemies at the same time, and you have a, you want to make sure you're using the DMR first of all in the passenger seat. And when you have the DMR, you can make precision shots from a distance that sometimes the turret can't hit. You know, you'll see this thing kind of has that giant circle in the middle, which from a distance it becomes harder and harder to make that shot. But the DMR, you can't zoom in, but it's still just a tiny little reticle, and aiming's easy because you don't have to worry about walking around. And so, you know, it makes a huge difference, is what I'm trying to say. It's hard to explain in technical terms, but having a passenger makes a huge difference in the success of your Warthog. Now see, right here, we made sure we controlled the middle. As soon as the tank spawned, Waffles got it. He gives it to me because he's a great guy, and I love him. And when you're using the tank, the main thing you want to watch out for is getting boarded, right? And so I suggest using the tank like a sniper rifle. I don't do a very good job of that in this match. You see, like right here, I'm kind of hanging back, right? Like, look how far away I'm shooting these guys. You can use the tank like a sniper rifle. Not so with the Wraith. With the Wraith, you usually have to get pretty up close and personal. But with the tank, use it like a sniper rifle. And if you're keeping that distance, it's going to be so much more difficult for them to kill you. Whereas if you're doing what I'm kind of doing right here, you know, I'm over aggressive at this point because I'm kind of on an adrenaline rush. Just had a really good session in the tank and then a good session in the Warthog, you know, getting doubles and triples, and this was, I wish that was a triple right there, but it wasn't. Use it like a sniper rifle, because if you start getting up close and personal, you're going to get boarded. It's really easy to get boarded. And that's really the main thing that takes out the tank. That and rocket launchers and snipers. But if you're using the tank like a sniper rifle, you can position the tank so that you're facing forward. And even a sniper rifle is going to have to use like 3 clips if it's hitting you in the front of your armor. You're obviously, you know, just as the saying goes, you're really weak in your flanks and your rear. And so if you're keeping your front facing the enemy, I would argue that you're basically invincible to regular, you know, DMR or assault rifle fire, and you're almost invincible towards anything more powerful than a regular weapon. And so there's some, you know, vehicle tips that you can keep in mind for Halo 4. I hope you enjoyed. This is Batman signing out.